Hi, I'm Rasanamika Chadi is here. We go on the episode of Dark 30 USA. I'm here to talk about the President Trump travel to China and see what is going on over there. So before anything, there are a couple of things I have to mention. One of them is his post on Truth Social. When he says it is for 22 hours ago, CNBC incorrectly reported that the great Jensen Huang of Nvidia was not invited to the incredible gathering of the world's greatest businessman, woman, proudly going to China, blah, blah, blah. So he's saying on the Air Force One what people are saying. An honor. It is an honor to have Jensen from Nvidia, Elon Musk for Tesla, Tim Apple, Tim Cook from Apple, Larry Fink, Esteban Schwartzman, Kelly Ortberg in parentheses Boeing, Brian Sykes, Cargill, and Jane Fraser from CT, Larry Kolb, G Aerospace, David Solomon, Goldman Sachs, Sanjay Menrota from Micron, Christian Amon Qualcomm, and many others journeying to the great country of China, where I will be asking President Xi, a leader of extraordinary distinction, to open up China so that these brilliant people can work their magic and help bring the People's Republic, means Republic of China, to an even higher level. In fact, I promise that when we are together, which will be in a matter of hours, I will make that my very first request. I have never seen or heard of any idea that would be more beneficial to our incredible countries, President Donald J. Trump, blah, blah, blah. And then one other thing which was crazy to me, when she shows up, like when the Air Force One lands, uh, and all the people are over there to do the gathering for the ceremony. Do you remember for UAE women, they were rotating their head to put their hair on the air, like that was a tradition. So Chinese women started to just only basically wave the Chinese flag, because normally when you go to one country, like I don't know, Saudi Arabia comes to the United States, or we go there, anywhere that we go, that we treat them very good, or they treat us very good, like in Japan. Like there are always both flags, like you see, I don't know, South Korea and America, Japan and Germany, they're next to each other. But in here, that was no U.S. flag; that was only Chinese flag. So I think that was a very strong message. Like even though there are so many people, women on the lines, like they make a like red carpet, it's in middle and women on the side, but they were all raising basically Chinese flag. I didn't see any U.S. flag, which is kind of, it's common to have both flags when it comes to the airport. At least this is based on what I have seen. But they only put the flag of the host, the country, Republic of China, which I think that was a really strong message. Let me bring it in here. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is a couple of stuff. One is, okay, so this message is showing like China is not joking around anymore. And the second is, I don't know if you remember or not, but before the COVID, Trump went to the China and made the very crazy demands. And after that COVID happens, all of us, we thought, I mean, still some do, that China was behind that release of the COVID to, I mean, destroy America after what the bad deal America made. So China couldn't resist, couldn't fight back. So they had to destroy economy. Right now, China is saying we have enough evidence to show that America was behind of the COVID, with the Fauci, the gaining functioning, all those stuff, funding, Wuhan lab. And even the name of the virus was COVID. That was leaked from the lab. They are saying America was behind that. But regardless, this is not my point about the COVID. Well, hantavirus is coming again. The last time China and United States met each other, that was the COVID virus, and made a deal was COVID virus. After a few months after, and now it is hantavirus again when they are making a deal, which is crazy. Also, they are saying that one of my friends was saying in your show you have to talk about that. That actually that was like a child PORN on the Disney ship, Disney, like a Disney company ship, and that was like pedo videos and stuff, and basically the hantavirus was a distraction from that, and actually it worked because everyone was talking about the hantavirus, not basically the Disney ship, that there were so many child PORN footages found there, and actually they had cameras. So my friend said, hey, mention that in the show, so I'm doing it right now. So yeah, I guess this is a crazy coincidence that right after America and China, they were going to make a deal, something happened. But anyway, that time, what I was trying to say before going off the track, off the rail, that time, China just said yes, as far as I know. I guess he just accepted so many demands from United States. But this time, if you remember from the beginning, China couldn't care less about United States. America said, I'm going to tariff you 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 100%, 200%. And China kept going up with them, and they say, well, this is childish. Who cares if it is 200 or 500? Because actually China is right. Like, who cares? Like, if you put 200% tariff on something, and that person, in order to make money, should raise the price to make it up to that 200% to still be profitable. So when you want to raise your price for the customer for 200%, nobody gonna buy that. Depends on what you are selling, but nobody gonna buy that. So then you go bankrupt. So it's not a good market for you to sell your item with 200% extra basically cost on the tag. People will say, well, how do you get double? And you say, well, because I got tariff in order to still make profit from that, so I have to raise the price to make it up to that tariff. So customers should pay that. That's true. But I mean, sometimes I'm pro tariff, but a smart tariff, not this dumb tariff that Trump has been applying as a like a leverage to just play a game with it. Tariff is something that should mean something, not use it for a scare tactic. But anyway, regardless, what was happening was at that time China said just yes to Trump. This time said no, and knew that after 60%, 100% tariff that they are adding, they're putting on each other's countries, it's pointless. Whether it is 100 or 200 or 500 or 1,000% or whatever, 1%, 100%, 200%, 500%, nobody gonna buy that. Because no matter if I make it 200% more expensive or 500%, nobody gonna buy that. So at some point, nobody cares. So it says it's stupid and childish to play that game with you. So they refuse to play the game. So as America was raising tax, China didn't care, because they said at this point, when we have passed some certain point, nobody gonna work for the other countries. So he had to come back, like do the Taco Tuesday, chickening out, but it happens, and of course China lifted off as well. So it was reactionary. But what it means is China this time is serious for the business, and it's not joking. So that makes me feel like right now China is not going to accept so many of demands from the Trump. And then you tell me, okay, so what's going to happen? This is the scary part. What's going to happen is, I mean, a scary part for me, and not for the world, for the China. For me as an American, if China comes out and say Trump made those demands and I just said no to them, it's over. Why is it over? Because then everyone gonna say the king is naked. People are screaming the king being naked, so others gonna be less afraid of us and gonna say more no to us. Even though I think we are abusing our relationship with so many of our partners, except Israel. Israel always gets what it wants for sake of Israel. But in general, I think if China doesn't accept any of the demands, and the problem is right now is like Trump is acting like he has all the cards. He doesn't have any cards. And I mean, still he has cards because we are America, but he doesn't have the card that he thought. But he's acting like he has all the leverages. Because, for example, he wanted to send again the J.D. Vance and Jared Kushner and Stephen Witkoff to Pakistan in order to go for another round of negotiation. This is for 2 weeks ago. And Iran didn't even show up. And they say, well, the stuff that you're demanding is just total surrender. If we wanted to surrender, we wouldn't have fight. You wanted us to surrender, and we didn't. And you started war with us. You started the war. You didn't win. And even you lost the Strait of Hormuz. And for some reason, now what you couldn't get from the fight, you're going to get me through negotiation. It's opposite. First, if I can get from negotiation, I go. If I cannot, I go fight with you. But right now, you already fought with me. You're gonna come back and talk to negotiation. I won on basically the war, on the battleground, the hard part. Now the easy part is just negotiation. Say no. I was hoping like Trump gonna be a little more realistic and say something. He didn't. He didn't even mention it. Like he didn't. He was acting like, oh, I hit so many of your ships. Your navy is gone. Yeah, but it was never about the navy. It wasn't like Iran could have nuclear bomb because they had very strong navy. It wasn't like, oh, IRGC is intact because of their basically air force. They never had air force. They never had navy. They had it, but it was a joke. It was a Lego army. Um, so the reason that Iran was dangerous was never about the navy or air force. But he thinks for some reason, because he hit a couple of basically jets that are from 50 years ago, now Iran gonna bow down. It was never about that. Iran was never basically bragging about their navy or the air force. So for that reason, if he's so delusional that he still thinks, oh, I can do whatever I want, if he does the same attitude with China, then China says no, then it gets intense, and people are gonna say, oh, look, they fought with Iran, third world country, they couldn't get anything, even they lost their bases in the region around the Persian Gulf, and also they lost the control over the Strait of Hormuz, and there's nothing they can do about that. And basically it says like, and China is stronger. China also said no, and then Russia said no too, and then countries learn to say no to us, and that's the worst thing it's going to happen. So I mean, some people are saying probably America postponed the meeting with China because wanted to be done with Iran, and says, hey, listen, I shut your access to the oil from the Venezuela and now from Iran, from whole Persian Gulf. Strait of Hormuz is in my control, so now you have to say yes to me. So basically they wanted to use Iran as their card to say, hey, we took over the Iran, now we have all the oil, you have to say yes. But not only they didn't finish the war with Iran, but also they lost the Strait of Hormuz, and now American ships cannot go through, but Chinese ships can, and actually it benefited China. So basically, Iran war was a gift to China. And for that reason, China right now has upper hands. So I think the only way out of it, I mean, I don't know how we can win in this situation. It's so bad that I keep trying to say, if we do this, if we do that, something good gonna happen. Nothing good gonna happen after the war with Iran, and it only benefited China. So we have to see what they say. I mean, I cannot care less about what Trump says. And Trump has been saying, we won the war for 30 times, and still they cannot even save one ship through Strait of Hormuz. What type of win is that? That our navies should be 1,000, like how much, like 1,000 kilometers away from the shore of the Iran, and you call it win for some reason. So I don't know what's going to happen, but this doesn't look like a win to us, and right now we are already feeling it in the gas stations. Also, I don't know, like, and to be honest, at this point everyone knows that something big is about to happen, so I don't know if China will let it slip or take the advantage of that and then use Iran as a leverage. No, I'm going to support Iran, we're going to be nice to Iran, you better get out of there. So even we face the war situation. So we gotta see, but I hope it goes for better. Thanks for watching. As always, as above, so below.